And good morning, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up, Blair Ellis from the RNC get the thoughts on what's going on throughout the country. Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. More from our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission coming up. But today is election day, right? Today is election day in Ada County. Today is an election day in Canyon County. How inspired are you to vote? How inspired are you to make a difference? Now, the big news in Canyon County is another run at the big jail. Now, people on the side of law enforcement, they say it's very important. This is what, the fourth attempt to fund the jail? 4 attempts to fund the jail. That's a lot of no's, everybody. And you've had Sheriff Donahue, Canyon County Sheriff, nationally recognized for his great work in law enforcement, and his deputies and his law enforcement and everyone else saying, look, we're going to let people out. Now, if this is new to you, and we have a young man at work, we'll just call him Daniel Tiger. He said, they're letting people out. Relax, Daniel Tiger. They've been letting people out for a while. Isn't that the prerogative of the county if they're going to say, look, we're not going to do this? The voters will determine whether or not they want their taxes to go up. And you don't have to be from Canyon County to understand this. Sources very close to the situation have told me, Kevin Miller, the Ada County jail is overcrowding. Kevin Miller, there'll be some people that, work on these positive press release campaigns, to move public opinion, to, put it up on the ballot for Ada County. Because we have a lot of people that are incarcerated, right? A lot of people that are going to spend time in the jail. And just like the schools, I don't know if there's a type of business that you can get into where you could build jails and build schools. But right now, that's probably rivals building homes in the Treasure Valley, right? So, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, when we take a look at this Canyon County jail situation, you have some county officials saying, yes, we're good to go. On the other, you have people saying it ain't going to happen. To me, a supermajority for the jail is not going to happen. No disrespect. Look, I've been wrong before. Could be wrong again. I don't see people in this age, especially when the home assessments are going up, that are going to want to pay more money for a jail. Now, maybe you reach a bunch of new people. Maybe instead of getting on the television, you have an organized campaign. Personally, I think that they should have had debates. Real town hall meetings. Not town hall meetings where one side just gets to speak. If you have proven anything in the Treasure Valley is people want debates. People want to be part of the action. So coming up, whether you live in Ada County or Canyon County, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I want to get your thoughts on this. And coming up, we'll hear more from our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission. We urge you to stop by the Walmart here in Nampa. We're here tonight till 7. Yes, tonight till 7. And I'm here. I don't go anywhere in all my effervescent glory and joy. Stop by, bring some pennies, have a laugh. By the way, with a lot of our regulars, Terry from State College, Pennsylvania, and others giving us a no-show, we're going to need, and Tea Party Bob, too busy for us, Liberty Linda moving away, we're going to need some new people to make it happen. And let's go to Blair Ellis, who joins us now from D.C. Blair, good morning.
Morning. How are you doing this morning?
Very well. So tell us the latest with the president and Joe Biden. Is Joe Biden the guy to beat?
I think Joe Biden is just one more liberal in the mix who's trying to paint himself as less liberal or more liberal. I feel like he flip-flops every day at this point. But no, I think he's just like every other candidate in the race, and he's certainly going to have to be somebody that owns his Obama-era legacy, those 8 years that he was Obama's right-hand man, that oversaw one of the worst economic points kind of in our nation's history. All of that runs with Joe Biden when Joe Biden runs. So I'm anxious to see kind of how he leans into that record or how he tries to distance himself from it.
All right, Blair, you're a smart young lady, as opposed to an old curmudgeon like myself. What do you make of the state of the Democratic Party? On one hand, you have the AOC and the Green New Deal and Mayor Pete and all of a sudden, and then you have Joe Biden, who is far from new, but people saying, we just want to win, baby. Your thoughts, Blair?
You know, I think that the Green New Deal and you know, is honestly at this point the only kind of real, if we're going to call it that, real substantive policy proposal that we've seen the Democrats put forth this entire time they've been leading in the House. And the fact that we continue to see Democrat after Democrat and the liberal field kind of run to embrace that outlandish proposal. It's nothing but a taxpayer boondoggle, and it's nothing but a government takeover over every aspect of your life. I think it just speaks to how far left the base is moving and how far left the ideological spectrum is shifting. And I think ultimately what we're going to start seeing is Democrats at some point are going to have to start distancing themselves from one another. They're going to have to start trying to distinguish themselves from one another. And we've got the Democrat debate coming up in about a month now, about 4, 5, 6 weeks. And I think that's really when we're going to start seeing some elbows be thrown as Democrats try and one up the other and try and out-liberal the other.
What do you make of Congress, Nancy Pelosi trying to hold off the like literally the army of the dead towards impeachment?
I think impeachment is about as far-fetched as it gets. And I think at this point, there are a lot of Democrats, most Democrats have come to terms with the fact that there's no justification, there's no cause, there's no warrant for it. And I think Nancy Pelosi is doing her darndest to try and keep her caucus in line. She's trying to make sure that the Democrat caucus is all kind of marching to the same song. And I think at this point, any effort to impeach would be nothing but fruitless and wasted time. And I think ultimately the American people, when you get out on the road and you start talking to them about what matters to them, it's the economy. It's how things are doing. It's how things are going. It's the extra money they have in their pocket at the end of the day. It's how they're feeling after their tax returns came back, and we know ultimately that it's the Republican Party, it's President Trump that is turning this economy around. It's the doers in Congress, it's the doers in D.C., which are the Republicans and President Trump that are making things happen. It's not the Democrats.
Dangerous.
Well, Blair,
case of
we
road rage
appreciate
in LAX
that.
Escalated real.
Thank you very much. That report from the RNC. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Now, we've got a young man who has just joined us. Sir, would you introduce yourself to the listening audience?
Yeah, my name is Niels Christensen. I wanted to come down here and match that 100 that was offered.
All right, Niels Christensen, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just a young man, as you say, who looking for an opportunity to give back in any way that I can. Well, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think I'm going to give myself a plug.
Well,
is that all right?
Look, it's better to ask forgiveness than.
And we're back here, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio via the phone. And the power is out here in Napa, but the power of the spoken word continues. Miller's mission continues. A big round of applause here, yes. We continue on. Talking to this young man from StoryShop.io, and you donated $100. So we're going to have to get a little close here, so I'm going to hand you the phone. If you could, share with us your story of this Napa startup, and then any other thoughts that you would have to encourage people, like you did, to donate to the Boise Rescue Mission.
Well, I listen to the program every day on my way to work.
Thank you very much.
And, you know, it's great to have a conservative voice. It's great to have somebody who talks about organizations that want to do things in a Christ-like way. And that's one of the things that, you know, in my own personal life, I've been trying to find ways to give back in a better way. I'm not rich by any sense of the word. I have my day-to-day struggles like everybody out there. But I really think the most important thing to do is to, especially in your own struggles, is to find ways to focus on other people. And so I had $100 in my wallet, and I heard that challenge and decided that I would take that actual step and come down here and match it, because I think that Christ told us to give, and that's really what it's all about, is focusing on other people and finding people in their poverty and lifting them up. That was my main mission in coming down here. And then as a side note, I wanted to mention the company that I've been trying to help develop, Story Shop. It didn't start as Story Shop. It started as 5 guys who were meeting in the Flying M every Thursday night, just talking about stories. It's a group of authors. Myself, I'm a graphic designer. And we started developing these ideas that we thought were really cool. And we started going to writing conferences, started going to other places where authors would gather. And we got involved with another company called Story Shop. We acquired them, and we developed a writing platform for authors, specifically for them. Authors are out there battling companies like Amazon, and it's really hard for them to get a footing, to make a living with their craft. And so we wanted to make the author the person in control. That was the main mission of our developing this. It also extends to students, to schools. We're trying to make it. That's a long plug. I'm sorry. I could talk for 20 minutes, but I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. We'll do more on your company coming up. Appreciate it. Thank you. Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio. Miller's mission continues. If you're living in the city of Nampa or the vicinity, the power's out. Power's out here at the Walmart, but we are powering on the right side. And, Reverend Bill, thank you for reminding me. Our cash code word of the day is rich. Whether you're rich or not, we would love for you to donate to the Boise Rescue Mission. Kevin Miller in the morning, taking your phone calls about the issues that matter to you. And I don't know if we can take calls on this, but if we can, I'll just try and blind pitch to, is it Lyle? Lyle? Are you there?
Yeah,
and if not, we'll drive on. Lyle, are you there on KIDO Talk Radio?
Yeah, Kevin,
All
thanks.
right.
Good morning. I just wanted to say in regards to the $187 million bond going forward in Canyon County today, I don't know if people realize Canyon County has as far as I know, the highest property tax rates in the entire state of Idaho. And that's not a claim to fame that I appreciate. And I would like to know, since we have the highest property tax rates in the entire state and the county, the population is growing, I'd just like to know what the people in charge of the county are doing with all of our tax money. So to put forward a $187 million bond when we already have the highest property tax rates, higher than Ada County, I'd like to see some accountability for the money that we're already paying to them every year in our property taxes. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Wow, we appreciate it. It looks like the power is restored. We'll take your calls concerning the return on investment on the jail. Are you down to spend the moolah? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Coming up, more of your calls on the jail at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. I don't see it passing. In fact, it's interesting. If you're going to get that jail passed, you're going to have to spend money on paid media, not earned media. And even then, I don't see the folks of Canyon County spending that money. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And the fact that they didn't have debates, I personally believe that you need to get both sides of it out, and just having one-sided meetings, I don't think that moved the needle. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Robin. Joining us now, Canyon County Commissioner, fresh off his donation and appearance yesterday, Tom Dale.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Boy, that was quick.
Yeah. What was quick?
Well, your phone call. So what can we do for you? I'm sure you have a few issues you'd like to talk about today.
Yeah, I just have been listening to some of the jail conversations and wondering if you had any questions you wanted to ask me. I would like to say that, we're following the only course of action that the state legislature really allows us in trying to fund a big ticket item like that, and that's to go to the people with a bond vote with a 66 and 2/3 majority. And it is an arguably tough hill to climb, as you've been mentioning. It's a really high bar, but it is the only tool that the state legislature allows us to use to address big ticket items like this. We've pled with them over the years to allow us to ask the people if they'd like to fund projects like this with a local option sales tax, for example, where really everybody who buys something in the county helps contribute. And yet they repeatedly have said, no, they don't trust the people to vote for things like that. So this is the only tool we have available to us. It's taken years of study to get us to this point. We'll keep working on it.
How do you think it's going to play out today?
Well, like I say, it's a high hill to climb. I'm optimistic that people will see the need and will understand that at some point, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to build a jail that's adequate to meet the needs. I really believe that the best course of action in these kinds of things is to build for the future, not build just for the need today. We know we could fill a jail of 700 beds capacity if it was open today. And the study that we worked with the DLR Corporation, one of the best companies in the world to do these kinds of studies, says for the next 30 years we could use about 1,000 beds. That's kind of what we're shooting for here. So the need is there. The expense is huge. The reality is the expense will continue to climb as we delay. We know that the longer you put things off, the more expensive they become, and the more risk that we endure as a county when this need stays out there unmatched.
Do you personally want to encourage people to vote?
I would love to have people vote. I would love to encourage people to support this. I had one person criticize me that I know of when I mentioned in an article in a newspaper that at some point Canyon County residents are going to have to pay this bill. And I believe that's true. Nobody else is going to step up. The state's not going to step up. The federal government's not going to step up and offer us a bunch of money, and we're not going to be able to call on people from other counties to pay this bill. It is a burden that has been given to us. We've been given only one tool to fund it, and that's property tax. If there's any anger that people want to express, I would encourage them to take a look at encouraging the legislature to provide local governments, cities and counties, with other tools than property tax to fund the things that they tell us we have to provide. So, yeah, I'd encourage people to get out and vote. Vote your heart. Vote your brain. What that tells you to do, and let's get this thing done.
Canyon County Commissioner Tom Dale, a great singer, a lover of the people, and a public servant. We appreciate you, sir.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing, Kevin, there, and I just want to encourage people also to get out and bring their donations down to the Walmart there for the Boise Rescue Mission. I've been a local elected official for 23 going on 24 years, and we could not do the things that local government is asked to do and required to do without the nonprofits and the people like the Boise Rescue Mission stepping up, and Salvation Army, and you go down the list, you just name it. Nonprofits, local charitable organizations, they provide the safety net, if you want to call it that government is not able to provide. And folks, we need to support these organizations as much as we can.
Commissioner Dale, thank you, sir.
You bet, Kevin. I appreciate all that you do, and hope you have a wonderful day there and stay dry.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dale. We appreciate it. Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio. Miller's Mission continuing on, taking your calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Good morning, Maggie. Well, welcome back, Kevin Miller in the morning. We'll take more of your phone calls. Do want to thank Commissioner Dale for calling in. And by the way, yesterday at the broadcast center, the Jedi Temple of broadcasting, if you will, our power went out. Power went out for like 3 or 4 hours, and that's like in the big wig Boise, right? So here we are in Nampa, and I thought that the power had gone up, had come back in Nampa. We're outside the Walmart here, Garrity and Franklin. The power's out. The power's out here in Nampa. Is the power out where you are? Number one. Number two, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. You know, some people might say we're going to bag on Idaho Power. Some people would be a little too sensitive. But I got to say, what does it say about our grid, our infrastructure, if, in fact, we can't handle a little rain? No disrespect to the people that are trying to restore the power. That's easy to gripe about. But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I mean, you lose power in Boise because it rains or there's wind. A couple of years ago, we had major snow, and some of us lost power. But we're talking about really rain here. Now, hopefully, we are not talking about a traffic accident where somebody ran into a power pole. But this is the year 2019 when we have apps that answer everything, right? I got an app that'll do this. I got an app that'll do that. App me, app you. Ha, 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 ha. And if you don't find that entertaining, I apologize. However, in this age where we're going to have autonomous cars, we're going to have drones that are flying us, how in the world can we justify those expenses when the power goes out at the drop of a hat? And you have people that are very needy, like in the senior homes, everywhere, that, you know, are dependent on the electricity. Not everybody has a backup generator. Apparently, we don't have a backup generator here at the broadcast center. Imagine that. It happens. Because who would ever think that the power would go out? But it has. So really, what's the backup plan? We're talking about that issue, and we're talking about the big jail issue. You had people saying Canyon County has the highest property taxes in the state. You had County Commissioner Tom Dale coming on 66, 67%, a supermajority. And if the people don't want to pay for it, that's their decision, right? I mean, this is the third or fourth or fifth or seventh time that this issue has been before the voters. And then if you're in Ada County, that's just around the corner. Apparently it's not working. And if people want the inmates to run loose, then so be it. Right? That's where you come in at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We go to the Reverend Bill Roscoe joining us now from the Boise Rescue Mission. Good to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, Kevin, and I'm sorry for all the inconvenience that you have suffered on this Miller's Mission.
Nobody needs to know about that. We'll just continue on, sir.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being the constant trooper that you are. All of us at the Rescue Mission were really impressed at how immediately after the power went out, you grabbed the cell phone, dialed up the station, and boom, you're back on the air on the cell phone. That was pretty remarkable. I think you should get a round of applause from the audience.
I'm worried about them replacing me, so you know what happens there.
They can't replace you, Kevin. Well, that's impossible.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're going through right now, because it is cold out here. There is no heat. We've got shelter. But, I mean, the Walmart's locked us out, so we're pretty much on our own.
It's kind of like being one of the guests at the rescue mission for just a little while, and that's what people I hope will think about, that when you go outside this morning, as I did and you did, and of course you're living in it, but you go out there and it's drizzly and wet and a little breezy and cold, 40-something degrees. Imagine that you have no place to stay, and that's what you're living in, and that's what it is for a lot of people in our valley. And, you know, the rescue mission serves over 65% of all the homeless people in the state of Idaho, if you can imagine that. And that turns into about 500 men, women, and children a night living in our shelter, staying in our shelters. I don't want to say living there, because our ambition is that no one lives at the rescue mission. Everyone is passing through the rescue mission. And so every year we see about 500 people or more come into the rescue mission homeless and go out to their own place to live again.
And that's where your donations come into play. Won't you help us help the Boise Rescue Mission? Any donation matters. The Penny Patrol in full force. More on Reverend Bill in a minute. But first, going live to the White House from the Nampa Walmart here, Garrity and Franklin, is our great friend John Decker joining us from Fox News Radio on KIDO Talk Radio. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Kevin. How are you doing today?
Not bad. So we've got a GOP congressman making waves, calling for the impeachment of the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, we're talking about Justin Amash. He's a Republican congressman from Michigan. It's not that unusual in the sense that Justin Amash has taken positions during his time in Congress that have been at odds sometimes with mainstream Republicans. He was against John Boehner as House Speaker. He similarly was against Paul Ryan as House Speaker for Republicans. He was kicked off the Budget Committee because he was against a Republican budget that blew up the deficit. It's not unusual to see him take positions that are sort of out of Republican orthodoxy. That being said, he is the first member of Congress in either the House or the Senate to take a position in which he's come to the conclusion that the president committed obstruction of justice and that articles of impeachment ought to be brought against the president.
I understand that the Freedom Caucus had a reaction to this already.
Well, they did. You know, they've taken issue with Justin Amash's position. We may see a statement coming from the Freedom Caucus. Interestingly enough, Justin Amash actually co-founded the Freedom Caucus. So I don't think he's going to get removed from that body, but certainly the position that he took yesterday, or I should even say the day before, it was on Sunday, I believe, is one which is not making him a lot of friends among his Republican colleagues. And he's sort of out there on an island. He already has a primary challenge coming from the right, but he believes that he knows his district well and will win re-election in 2020.
John, the president in rare form in Pennsylvania taking shots at Joe Biden. I mean, we've got over 20 Democratic candidates, yet the president seems to be fixated on one.
Well, that's because he believes that Joe Biden will be the front runner and is the front runner and will be the nominee for Democrats in 2020. He thinks that is his competition. He already said that Bernie Sanders has lost the race for the Democratic nomination, and I think that, according to the president, would be the stiffest competition for Joe Biden. But keep in mind, no votes have been cast yet. It'll be a while before that takes place in next year, early January, in Iowa. But for now, the president believes that Joe Biden poses the stiffest challenge for him in Pennsylvania in particular. That's a state that Joe Biden was born in, the state that at least one poll shows him running far ahead of the president in the public opinion polls.
John, we always appreciate it. Wish you were here in the Walmart, but you've got to do the nation's work in D.C.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Always appreciate being on your show, as always. And I look forward to talking to you next time. And have a great time today and a great week if I don't speak with you.
Thank you, John. Take care, sir.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Our great friend John Decker joining us. And remember, when you hear Fox News Radio on the radio here in the Treasure Valley, you're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. We are live at Miller's Mission, rolling right along with the Reverend Bill Roscoe of the Boise Rescue Mission. And at Reverend Bill, here we are, another fundraiser. We've had our friends from Datatel come by, from Datatel from the StoryShop.io, a startup company. We've got Renee saying, how about $100? You've got Niles Christensen, $100 there. We have the pennies. I don't know if you caught the little kids coming in today. Mackenzie and Noah, through their grandfather, they collected a ton of pennies. We've had Jerry from Nampa Paving. A lot of people coming in, making a difference today.
It's really an outstanding effort by the community to support, once again, Miller's Mission and the Boise Rescue Mission, and we sure are grateful. And don't forget, we had Gordon, who had the FedEx badge on, also come in this morning and say hello and make a good pitch for you and the high quality of your show. And I appreciated hearing that from Gordon. It's a wonderful thing to be here, Kevin. I'm cold. I'm shivering. The heater's not working. But, I look at you and I get inspiration. Because
I've got more insulation than most, so I'm okay.
I got plenty of that, too.
Let's share that with our audience here at KIDO Talk Radio. For those of you at home or at work, we take a lot of things for granted. And it's bringing it close to home to us right now. The heat is off. It's about, 40, 50 degrees. It's wet. We take for granted that we're going to have a home, that we're going to have a job, that we're going to have money. And this safety net, known as the Boise Rescue Mission, is there for people that don't have those things. How do you fund that organization?
Well, we do it through donations, exclusively through donations, and a big truck pulls up. I hope he's got a big load of money in that truck. Pennies and dimes. We do it because this is the most generous community on the face of the earth, Kevin, and you represent that and your whole determination here twice every year to host Miller's Mission. Here he comes. The truck driver's here.
That's a big truck.
That is a big truck.
How you doing, brother? Sure. Have a seat. What's your name?
Lee Joe.
My boy Lee Joe, how you been?
Good.
Here, you got to speak into the mic so people can share with you. Thank you for stopping by.
No problem. I was just passing by and about to go pick up another piece of heavy equipment and figured, Kevin's over there. I should stop.
Outstanding.
So, well, we're big fans of big trucks lately. You know that.
Well, you got to be because trucks deliver everything. This Walmart doesn't exist without trucks and without the roads and the infrastructure
and there'd be no truck drivers if it wasn't for those trucks. That's an old country song.
Yeah, thanks for that insight, Reverend Bill. Lee Joe, thank you for donating. Thank you for swinging in. Really appreciate it. Anything you'd like to share with us today?
Nope. I've spent some time volunteering at the rescue mission myself, once in a blue moon. But like Reverend Bill said, without nonprofits and other groups that actually perform charity, the government can't do this. The private charity is the most efficient way to fund people in need, and taking my tax dollars is a horrible way of making that happen. So your options are pay taxes and not solve the problem, or get your wallet out and contribute to the rescue mission and your other nonprofits, and make sure that it happens efficiently with people who actually care and don't just have a government job and are there just to get their paycheck and their retirement. So that's my two bits.
That's
Amen.
What you're saying, urging people to come down and donate.
Yes, come
Amen.
and donate whenever possible.
How big's that truck you're driving?
This is my smaller truck. My big truck has 10 axles and weighs 70,000 pounds by itself. And when I'm fully loaded, I weigh 175,000 pounds on 10 axles. So I'm over twice as big as any of the regular semis you see rolling around town.
Takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, they don't let everybody do this. So,
kind of like being Reverend Bill. They don't.
And that would be a good thing that they don't let everybody do this.
Yeah. Well, it's the unfortunate part is that I'm off to a farm field to pick up a piece of equipment, and we're going to turn another farm field into a subdivision. I wish we were working on the southern desert or in the foothills, but there's politics against that, and so. But I'm glad to be here and donate, and keeps me employed. Not that it's all about me, but
Lee Joe, thank you. God bless, brother.
all right. Thank you, Kevin.
You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And here we are, Kevin Miller in the morning. KIDO Talk Radio with the Reverend Bill Roscoe. Do want to thank Team Mazda Subaru, Camping World, the Boise Rescue Mission for being here. And here we are at Walmart. And again, for people that, don't have to worry about the power bill, it's a different world than the people that you're helping and that people could help today. Again, we're without power. No big deal. It eventually will come back on. But the feeling of not having that instant gratification of warming yourself right back up. Crazy.
It's an amazing thing, and especially in our country, Kevin, that, we're so blessed in the United States. And every day when I pray, I thank God for things like flipping on a switch and the power goes on, and a heater in my home, and water right out of a faucet. The simple things of life like that are just taken for granted by all of us who live in this beautiful, rich country. And I hope folks will take that to heart today, as you heard what's going on down here, and you're walking out there, and that rain that's starting to fall again. Just think about folks who have no place to go, and what was just said by our friend from the big truck, that it's up to us to take
That'd
care of
be
one
Lee
another.
Joe.
Lee Joe,
one of the more politically active folks in the city.
Good man,
City
him.
of Boise, yeah.
Speaking of politics, one thing about the new jail.
Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Robin. Exactly. The pennies are overflowing. They're coming in, Reverend Bill.
They are indeed. It's a beautiful day.
That nice young man who just dropped this off, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Lots of people donating, lots of people making a difference. There's Jerry once again. He's back from Nampa Paving. He started the day off. Look, we've got a few more days, only a few more days left to make a difference. Join the Penny Patrol. We're going to be here tonight till 7. We're going to be living here tonight or till Saturday night at 6. Make a difference, and not just now, but anytime online at the Boise Rescue Mission's website, boiserm.org. Help the kids, right, Reverend Bill?
That's right. Help us help the kids, and help us to keep people out of the rain, keep people warm, keep people fed.
And that's what it's about. Thank you all for making a difference. We are so on the right track with this one, thanks to you. God bless. Stop out and see us. We'd love to make a difference, and through your power and prayers and donations, we will. God bless everybody. Glenn Beck is next. Stay tuned.
Yes, on the jail bond.